Are we live?
We are.
I
We are.
never believe you when you say we're live. I just sit here and wait
I
till
mean, it's
like we're
fine.
actually live.
You can
Okay.
pretend. You can say we're not
Okay.
live.
All
It's fine.
right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Weebs, Dweebs, and Interweebs podcast. I am your host. I am Aroogs from the internet. Hello. And this is my wonderful castmates. We're
Are we
short a
wonderful?
couple. Hey, Miko and Jay, if you're listening to this, get your ass to work. Thanks. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it. And if you're not feeling well, I'm sorry. Then my bad. But still, get your ass to work. All right. Thanks. All right. And with that, let's introduce the people that actually are here. So, well, first is our amazing John Dondero, our wonderful channel host. Yeah, he's hosting. Hosts WDI every Wednesday.
Hey, everybody.
Oh, Great Big Bear's here. Hey, Bear.
Mhm,
It's the first thing he
mhm,
does every time. Good job. He waits till I
mhm.
introduce you. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Every
I
time.
mean, he at least he
Like I knew
waits
it was gonna
to be
happen.
introduced. Mhm.
Hello. And then also with us is our resident
Hello
elder
there.
being, our our wonderful resident elder being the one I'm glad he puts up with our shit every single week. And I know that he's paying penance for something he did in some past life, but here he is anyway. Nev, how are you this week, Nev?
Huh? Oh yeah, I'm here. Hi, I'm good.
Hi. And
You never
then
know if it's pre-recorded.
no,
Right?
I
Using the
never
loop.
do. Right. The loop is the best. And then last but certainly not least, our resident hole filler, apparently, and
Filling
also
holes.
our producer, Pep, also known as
Hello.
Sean. Hello, Sean.
Also known as many other things.
Yes. They spent the entire pre-show talking about The Last of Us. Do y'all have opinions about that before we go on? Because y'all are I'm
We
gonna let
got
y'all
it out
get
of
it
our
out now.
system.
No, I don't want.
Are
I
you
don't want to
sure?
say anything because the finale
Spoilers.
just aired Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
finale just aired, but I will tell you this: it's good. If you haven't watched The Last of Us, it's definitely worth a watch, even if you're not a fan of the game. Like
the only thing I will say about the finale is it was one of the shorter episodes.
it was. You know
If you
what?
look
That
at the
was what I was
time,
really
Mm.
that's what I was really disappointed of. Is it ended? It ended fast. Like
That's
I
what she
wanted it
said.
to be.
Oh! High five.
Yeah,
Yeah. All
it
right,
did. You
go
know
ahead.
what? I felt that. I felt that to my core when that episode ended. I was I was like, it was good, but I needed more. So I need to finish myself off.
Okay.
hmm
I,
Good.
I listened to the podcast to get myself there.
You
The
listen to
it
companion
what
used to be the
podcast,
podcast?
The
whole
Last
filler.
of
Now you don't
Us.
get
Oh,
to feel whole.
the Last of
Oh, I
Us
thought you were listening. I
Night
thought
podcast.
you were listening
Okay.
to a
night
different
shift there.
podcast.
So
I thought you were listening to
I mean,
yeah, I was like, what
I would
podcast are
put
you
Bear.
listening to?
I would put Bear on the podcast if Bear could be on the podcast. Bear, can you be on the
Eric, do you want
podcast?
to be on the podcast? Come be on the
Bear, do you
podcast
want to
with
fill
us.
a
We
hole?
got a hole to fill.
can you
We got a
broadcast
hole.
from
We
I
got a
work?
forgot what
whole hole.
I
We got a whole
forgot
hole
what
right
you
here.
look like, Bear.
Right here. We got a
We got a hole
whole
for you to
hole.
fill.
I
Actually,
got
it's
a
over here.
hole right below,
hmm
right down
We got a
here.
hole. We got a hole right here. You want to come be with us? Come be in our
So,
The
but
hole.
no,
hole
I
of
highly
stepping on
recommend
UN.
if you haven't watched The Last of Us, absolutely check out that series. It's a fantastic series. It's really well written.
And
Pedro
now that it's all out,
Pascal
you can watch it all
and
at
Bella.
once, binge it now.
Oh, God, what's her last name?
Ramsey.
Yeah.
Ramsey. Bella Ramsey are absolutely amazing in it. The whole cast, like,
hmm
they did a really great job.
Yeah, I don't think there was
To
a
Yeah.
make you
bad
cry.
acting job to be done in that whole series.
Nope.
There wasn't
No.
anyone who I was like, "Why are you there?" Everyone
They
else is so
they
great.
did a lot better job bringing a video game to the screen. They did a lot better job than Mortal Kombat. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean
Well,
they
they
did a
never
lot
got to
better
Mortal
job than a lot of
Kombat.
them. They did a lot better job than a lot of them. I mean, even Resident Evil.
The Resident Evil is a great example of like because it was turned into a television show, and I'm like, that could have been a really good television show had you actually followed the plot of Resident Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the Resident Evil
Like,
television show they came out with recently wasn't that? That's not even like the any of the games. It's like way in the future between two games, I believe.
I think so, yeah. And like I said, it wasn't a horrid series, but it was just like we're gonna take the name Resident Evil, and
Oh
then
no, but they use a bunch of stuff. I mean, they use what's his name,
Yeah.
Wesker, and
I thought the
and
TV
his
show.
They
whole
don't tie
research
it.
thing.
Yeah, they don't tie it to like really any like there's no like source material, and it wasn't
because
that entertaining.
I thought
it
it
was
was good.
alright. It was alright. I thought it was alright. As
The
far as
the
It didn't make me.
dude.
It
as
did,
far as
What?
what's come out for Resident Evil before, other than the animated stuff, the only good
Fair,
Resident
yeah.
Evil is being animated stuff. So
What's the
Yeah, I
worst
mean, you're
video
right.
game turned into a movie / television show? Worst.
Mortal
Absolute
Kombat.
worst.
Mortal
worst.
Kombat.
Ooh, no,
Doom,
because Street
Doom?
Fighter still exists.
Street Fighter.
Yeah,
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter. Oh my god.
Wait,
I
wasn't
don't
Double
know.
Dragon a movie?
Double Dragon
Was
was also a movie. Yes,
Was
it
it?
had
Yeah,
Scott
Double Dragon
Oh,
was
I
a
Bale.
movie.
love
Had
the
Scott
video.
Bale in it.
Double Dragon.
Yes.
I love that video
Yeah.
game.
Doom.
Bear says Doom.
Great Big Bear's right. Doom.
Mhm.
Both the
Yeah,
Rock
Doom was-
version
Doom.
and the one they did for Netflix, which is garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did a second Doom, didn't they?
Mhm.
Yeah, they did a reboot, and it was on Netflix, and I tried to watch it. I really
Terrible.
did.
Actually, I think it was worse.
They made it campy because they're like, here's
did.
your key card, and it's like a key card like from the game. And it's like you can't get in this
Yeah,
level without
it-
this color key card. And I'm like, all right, guys, you could stop hyping the key card. You could just be like, you need a key card. Like we don't have access to it. But they're like, no, you need the yellow key card to get in here.
Wait, wait,
They
wait,
went-
wait,
they
wait,
said
wait,
Tetris
wait,
movie
wait,
is
wait.
coming up. You are right.
Wait,
Yep.
Tetris movie
there's
is
a
coming.
what?
Yes, there's a
What?
Tetris movie coming out this year.
Mhm.
Oh, don't forget the Don't forget the Adam Sandler don't forget the Adam Sandler movie that came out.
Mhm.
Pixels.
Pixels.
I have questions. I have
Pixels, but
questions.
Pixels is not a video game movie. There's no game called Pixels.
Yeah, it's-
so
Well,
it's,
but
it's
it's
based on video
80s.
games, not a
Yeah.
video game.
How
movie.
do you make a movie out of Tetris? How?
How do you make a movie out of Pac-Man? I don't know. It's out there. You can watch.
Pac-Man was a whole cartoon, man. Don't you remember the
Was it?
Pac-Man
You know what?
cartoon?
I would watch Tetris if Pedro Pascal was the guy moving the blocks. Just let me be honest.
No, he
Did
was.
you
No,
guys
he's
ever
the guy
see-
holding the child running through serpentine.
Holding the
blocks.
child with a
Yeah.
gun?
Did you guys
Yes.
see the
Wasteland
parody
of
thing they
Tetris.
did for Mario Kart with Pedro Pascal?
That is
Yes,
fantastic.
yes,
I
yes,
want a
that
movie.
is a good one.
I want.
I do want that
movie.
movie.
And after watching that trailer, that's when I learned that you could just put him in a movie and I will watch it. It's just like that's
Mhm.
what's gonna happen. I would watch the Mario Kart movie and just have no questions, no complaints. That trailer sold me the fuck on it. I was just like, yeah.
I like that trailer better than the actual movie trailer.
For
I mean, the movie trailer
Mario.
isn't bad. The animated one you're talking about? They're doing?
Yeah, the parody trailer that Pedro Pascal was in for Saturday Night Live. I like that trailer better than their actual movie trailer.
Oh God, Calvino.
Yeah. But I mean, that's if they're going to do a live action, sure. Those
Yeah.
are like two different things.
Mhm.
It's animated.
You don't want
versus
another.
live.
Yeah.
You don't want another live action Mario movie? Are you sure?
Only if you can get Bob Hoskins and who's dead.
John Leguizamo.
John-
We gotta have John
Leguizamo.
John
Leguizamo.
Leguizamo.
I love him.
Because I will say right
love
now,
him.
John
He's my
Leguizamo's
the
good.
Mario movie, as garbage as it was, is one of those movies that I'm like, I could watch 1,000 times. I enjoyed it. It's garbage. I know it's garbage, but it was.
That's
it's
why
such
you watch it.
garbage.
It's
Yeah.
the
Same-
Taco
it's
Bell
the
of
same level
movies.
garbage
It's
as
the
like-
Taco Bell of movies. You know it's
is.
trash, but you're still
But
gonna
you watch
consume
it.
it anyway.
Yeah.
You're still gonna
And
consume it
it's
anyway.
better. And it's better when you're high.
Yeah.
It's up there with like
because like I said-
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah, and I
Fun
love those
fact.
movies too.
Taco
Fun
Bell-
Yeah.
fact
yes,
fun
give us a fun
fact.
fact.
about my uncle was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. He has like screen time.
Turtles Through
What?
Time.
Yeah, the one where they
What's he
find the
doing?
big flowers. Like I think that's like the teacher. Yeah,
That's
he's
two.
one of. Yeah, two. Yeah, he was in two, and he was one at the very beginning of the movie. He was one of the like hazmat suit guys that discovered the
He
like.
was.
Yeah, yeah.
I
that's my
remember
uncle.
that. I
was my
remember that.
He also writes
That's very
porn.
cool.
Oh,
I don't
you
know.
know what? It's fine.
fine.
You know.
fine.
You should do a podcast where you
What are you
read
saying,
your
writing
uncle's
porn's
porn.
bad?
Yeah, I was getting ready to
I
say,
mean-
can we read?
And-
He
Yeah.
writes the porn.
No,
He's
I think that would be funny as shit. We started a podcast called "My Uncle Writes Pornography," and it is just you reading it to us, and we're
And
giving
that he
commentary
writes.
on it.
And I actually have both of his books downloaded, and they are smutty. And
Can we sit cross-legged
you-
on like a big
Do you talk to your uncle?
carpet?
Not since my mom moved in with him, but I mean, I
Because I was
I
gonna say,
can message
you should
him.
ask him. I was like, you should ask him if we can start a podcast where every week you read a chapter of it and we just comment on it. We Mystery Science 3000 and like analyze it and do a proper podcast read through. They actually do that. They did. There's another podcast actually called "My Dad Wrote a Porn,"
Yeah,
and
yeah, I've
that's
seen
what they
that one.
do. And I'm like, we should do
Well,
that, except for my uncle wrote a porn.
He also writes other like he has like a whole like he's written like 10 books. Like he's actually a really great author, but it's just
Yeah.
2 of his books are
Raunchy.
I was like, "Oh, I'm going to buy my uncle's book." And I couldn't
raunchy.
stop reading it. I'm like, "Why am I still reading this?"
How
Can
how
you
how many
add
chapters
sound
in
effects
before you
while
see
reading
dick?
it?
How many chapters? They
Page
start
1
fucking,
till
I think,
dick.
in chapter 2. I think they start
Okay.
fucking in chapter 2, but he whacks it in chapter 1.
You get
You can't go in to
chapter
meet
one.
the girl, the not girl, but the partner in chapter 2 if you haven't whacked
Okay,
it in chapter
Do you
1.
want me to give you a synopsis
yeah.
of the book?
Yeah. Yes,
You
we
want,
do.
you want me to
Yes.
give you
I'm here for it.
it's called around the Cape of Good Hope, or I think it's something like that. And it's about this guy who's married to this very beautiful woman, and he this is at the very beginning of the internet, and he finds this picture of a woman tied up, and the woman looks like his wife, but it's not his wife, so he whacks it. And then he comes home and
does.
he fucks his wife, and then apparently he goes on a business trip, as they do. And
as one
the
does.
neighbor woman comes over, because she's, of course, the wife is a stay-at-home mom, and then they start talking raunchy stuff, and they start talking about BDSM. And then he gets involved with like a whole like dynamic like discovering of BDSM and like hardcore, dom sub thing on his business trip. And the wife then discovers her stuff with the neighbor and some other people, and it's this whole thing where, and then they come together, and then they experience like they start explaining to each other the whole BDSM like hardcore sadomasochism stuff. And then it becomes this whole big thing, like like
Fantastic.
I mean, as it does, like
Yeah.
happens.
that's yeah.
Big
I
ol'
mean,
thing.
last
Like
business
he
trip I
about
went
gets
on, I
he
think that-
becomes a
that kinda
slave
happened.
on like for like he's on this 2-week trip, and he becomes a slave. Like he gets traded around. Yeah.
Mm.
I was like,
Did he get
I mean,
auctioned
that
too?
it does sound like a pretty typical business
Yeah.
trip, though.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's every trip I've been
Especially
on.
the auctioning part. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
No.
does he do commissions?
I don't know. I guess you'd have to ask him.
Can
He
we
might
do
have a
John
like
can
Patreon
ask him.
VS,
John
You
would
could
have
get in his
John would ask
Patreon.
him. John, you
And
want to
then,
ask
like a
him?
VSBN?
Yeah.
Sort
Oh no,
of,
I'm gonna
like-
ask him. I'm gonna
fanfic?
ask him 2 things. One, can we get the license to do a podcast where we get a Roogs, your niece, to read a chapter to us and we critique it
Mhm.
for
Sound effects
comedy
and all?
purposes? I'm not gonna lie to him. I'm not gonna let him like I don't know your work. I'm giving you the premise.
Arugs, would you do
And
that if he
2
gave permission?
I would.
Okay.
Totally would.
and
Making sure there was consent.
2, would he write a book about us?
I don't want my uncle thinking about me sexually in any way. Like
How
that's
do you know he
what-
already? Never mind.
Wait a minute. He doesn't have to. There's always a character who doesn't fuck in a book. There's always a character who doesn't fuck in a book.
That's true. There's always
You
You
could
could
be
be
the
the
one who
chaste
don't fuck.
observer. Yeah, you could be the chaste
Yeah.
observer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the voyeur, huh? I'm sitting in the cup chair the entire
There-
time.
the
What
cuck
would you
chair.
prefer? What would you prefer? Do you want the cook chair or do you want your uncle writing about your coitus?
That's like
Your
would you rather?
coitus?
Would
Coitus?
you rather?
Coitus.
Well, don't question it. Don't.
Don't-
You can just skip
Don't
past Will.
question
Just
it.
go right
Just
past
think
it.
about the
Just
word
go.
coitus.
That's it.
Ever.
You
The
start a
worst
list.
would you rather ever? You know what? Okay, fine. You know, I don't know. That's like,
We would have to. You know what we should do? We should pre-record that, and then like make it an audio podcast, but with like actually release the video, so it's kind of like this, except it's
Mhm.
like edited and like very polished and camera switches. Um,
It's like
and
a
so what we
read.
could do is do a chapter an episode, and then we can
Mhm.
record like 3 chapters at a time and just start releasing it, and do 2 seasons. Season 1 is the first book. Season 2 is the second book.
the
We'll do
second
it
book is
like
something
they.
totally different, but yeah, we could.
We'll do it
No,
like
just
a film read.
it's still the
Like
same premise of my uncle wrote a porn.
So yeah,
Okay.
even though they're not continuous in content, it's still
Yeah,
continuous in format.
we're continuous in content because it's still your uncle who wrote
Right.
it.
Correct.
I don't want to even know if he has. I'm sure he has more. I'm sure that he just hasn't published.
I mean, at least he's not the guy who writes the
No.
dinosaur porn or
Not dinosaur porn.
the animal bestiality porn. On you haven't seen that on Amazon? There's a whole section.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I'm just.
Once at work, a sweet old lady came and donated her husband's old book collection after he passed away, and 90% of it was incest pedophilia porn. Books from the 1970s. It wasn't pictures or anything like that, but it was
Mhm.
it was
It was pulp.
erotica and it was incest and a lot of pedophilia. And we
Mhm.
were just like flipping through it. And we're like, do we tell her?
nah,
And we're like, no, the dude's dead.
nah.
Let's not shock this old sweet lady who just brought her, husband's book collection. She's like, I don't know what to do with them. I figured the library would get some use out of them. You could put it in a book sale. And we're like, no,
I had something very
no.
similar happen. Except it was one of the substitute coordinators, and his dad died, and he brought like 30 huge boxes of books to the library, and sent an email out to the school, said hey, dad's books, come get them, they're free. So I of course go down there first because I'm like, ooh, fresh books. I opened up a box and it was a whole bunch of these had pictures. And I went at a school library, and
Fantastic.
I went up to the library and went, we need to move this box immediately.
Into my office. Into the back of my car.
No,
We
I
need
was
to
like,
move
we need
this.
to move this now. Like, we're gonna get arrested. Like, we need to. This
For
needs
the
to go to the.
longest time, we took every book that wasn't illegal and we shelved it behind my boss. And she, this tiny lady, tiny mountain lady, funny as hell, and she just had every erotica book that wasn't like pedophilia stacked behind her. And she finally took it down when we got our new director, and the new director was like, hey, what's that behind you?
Hmm.
Because like we all have like our own personal collections. Like mine is hentai and cult stuff. Anytime we accidentally order hentai, because we do order a lot of mangas,
Mhm.
and you have older librarians who are ordering manga, what they think are mangas, because teens are requesting it. It's just straight up hentai. And then every time a religious nut sends me a poorly Xerox Bible, their Bible, like the Book
Oh,
of
that's
Life,
great.
I keep them. Yeah, I keep every bit. In fact, one of them, the Book of Life, which is a very crazy cult, I found the original books. They're like old, and it's a whole series. And I was like, this is going on my shelf. So
What
if
is
you ever
gonna be
come
the
to, if you ever
one
come to my
thing
work,
when you die? So, sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. No,
If
what's
you
your question?
die, what is the one thing that your family is just gonna open up and just go, oh, what do we
Browser
do with
browser
this?
history.
www.twitch.tv/thedondaro.
Yep.
Hi, hello, and welcome to Dings with Kinks. No, I'm pretty wide open, so I don't think my family will ever be like, it's like Buttercup keeps her father's porn collection under her
Mhm.
bed, her VHS porn, because he was like, here, I can't use these anymore. You have them. You were conceived by one of them, and that's it. That's that open family. It's just
Did you
like there
tell her
was no
which one?
shocker. No, he
Yeah,
was like, you got to
I don't
guess.
want to know which one.
Gotta guess.
He
No,
might tell her on his deathbed.
I just realized something.
What?
Hmm.
One day, my dad is gonna pass,
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna inherit his porn.
All of it.
and his shit
gonna
is
inherit
somewhere
some?
in that house. I
Yep.
don't know if I'm prepared
It's
for
yours.
that. I don't.
I can see your dad putting in the will.
I like Amanda's dad. He's cool as shit. He's got one leg, and he's like Buddy.
He's not
And I'm
Bronner,
sure.
is it?
What about? It's not Bronner. But you know what? I could see Bronner being that guy when he's older. Like if Bronner was a truck driver.
Hmm.
At Thanksgiving, there was a fly in his coffee, and I was like, "Oh, let me get you another cup of coffee." He goes, "I ain't no bitch. I'll drink the fucking fly."
That's
And I was
protein
like,
right there.
I looked at him dead in the face. And was like, "You want to drink the fly, old man? Do it. I'm gonna watch. And when you choke on that fly, perhaps you'll die." And he
I
just
wonder
cracked up.
why.
Yeah. What about y'all? What is the one thing that you don't want your family to find?
My dead body.
My.
That's an answer.
Yes. The body in the
That-
freezer.
that.
Yeah.
I would think all of my sexual accoutrement. Like I have a ton of it. I have a ton of it hidden in boxes, like boxes and drawers and bags. Like because I have children, so and they're in pretty boxes, so you don't think that there's anything in there. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mhm,
Why
mhm,
does mommy need all these?
You know,
Well-
that is honestly kind of why I hope I go first, so Buttercup can clear out all the shit.
mhm.
Me and Jay have a thing, standing. Whoever dies first, the other goes to their house and blows up their computer, like burns it.
I think we should all have a trigger that whenever we pass away, it immediately publishes our search history.
Like a
on
dead man
social
switch.
media. Yeah, like a dead
Yeah.
man switch, exactly. Yep.
I bet we could. I bet with all of y'all and your smart IT-ness,
We could figure
could
it
make
out, yeah.
that happen. To wipe
Mhm.
our computers.
I've thought about it several times.
I mean,
Make
honestly,
an
I don't
app
have
that
anything
you just have to
illegal on my
check in
computer.
every once a week or so. And
You can do that. Yeah, there is a dead man switch that like if you don't, you can erase stuff from your computer or have stuff sent. Like I
Mhm.
know a guy who has an email that will go out to all his family members, and if he doesn't check it, like if he doesn't respond to it once a week, it sends a letter saying, "Hey, come check on me. I've died."
I probably need something like that, but like I'm not always at my computer every day. So
no, but you could have that's why they have apps for the phone. So you just check in.
You know what? I
It's-
need that. I think I
It's
need
like
that.
Netflix. Are you alive? Are you still alive?
Are you still watching?
Yes or no?
Are you still watching?
Mm-hmm.
There's a song that I like by oh my god, I can't think of the group, but it says only Netflix is the one checking in on me. And I was like,
I mean,
that
I mean,
that
okay.
does ring uncomfortably true to me a lot.
it does, yeah.
Yeah.
The only
Well,
person
Netflix
ever
is
checks
that
in
our
on me is Netflix.
Netflix.
Thanks, Netflix.
We have an entire network, and the only people checking in on us is our streaming services. You still alive? You okay? Get up and walk. Go
I feel like
pee.
if I didn't show up for a stream, you guys would be like, "Where's Sean?"
Speaking of, have we checked in on Miko? Do we know where she
Yeah.
is? Is she
Speaking of
alive?
missing a stream,
I mean, Jay,
Where's
I figure is
Miko?
working.
yeah.
Anybody
Jay's
checking
like
on her?
always
Somebody check on
working.
her. Somebody check in
don't
on
have my
her.
phone.
Speaking of,
She was
Didn't
probably
Jay
getting
quit?
booty rubs and didn't want to get up.
probably. I mean, I'm here for it. If she were
I mean,
getting
that's
booty rubs,
understandable.
but
But we should.
least let
Somebody
us
should
know.
send a
Send us-
message in the group. I don't have my phone on me, or I would. Hold on, let me pull up.
All this
did-
technology around us, and all of us are sitting here going, "Who's gonna
Just
do
did-
it?"
Sorry, I don't keep my phone on me while I'm doing.
You have a
content.
computer.
I know. I just realized that too. I literally went, "Oh, I'm fucking at my computer." I'm not used to being at my computer. I'm not logged in on Facebook on Buttercup's rig.
what is one video game that you would get excited, like super excited about it if they made a television show?
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh, Mass
Uh,
Effect. They did
Mass
the Mass
Effect?
Effect trilogy,
Farmville.
Mass Effect's trilogy. Oh
Mhm.
man,
Did you say Farmville?
Yeah, Farmville. I think would
No,
make a
no,
great show.
John, you're you're cut off.
That's farming for
No.
love or whatever that reality show is. That's already there.
All right.
Actually, I will say this. I agree with Nev. I've never played Mass Effect, but I heard it was like a fantastic story. But I don't think they'll be able to do it. There's too much option in it. Like the same with the like Fallout, you could do because you could just tell a story.
that's
You can
true.
do-
Yeah. With Mass
you know,
Effect, you had to choose a path, whether Paragon or Rebel.
You're always gonna have someone very unhappy that they didn't choose their arc that they
Yeah.
chose.
True.
I
But
think
though
a great.
the idea of it,
I think they should
Goes
really
BioShock,
make a
then.
movie out of Candy Crush.
I'd watch
Crush?
Candy Crush.
Mhm.
Isn't that like the
Fruit
Real
Ninja.
Housewives
Right
of
after
something?
Tetris becomes big, that's when Candy Crush.
Yeah, Candy Crush will do it
and
next.
All the other
absolutely.
ones that what was the
Yeah.
other
Fruit
one you
Ninja.
said?
Fruit Ninja.
Farmville.
Fruit Ninja.
Farmville
Fruit
will be
Ninja,
there.
yes.
Fruit Ninja.
Uh-huh.
Fruit
all of
I
them.
mean, we've
Ninja.
already done this. We've already done this with Angry Birds. We've proven that Angry Birds can be a
You're right.
viable
That is true.
content.
And,
That is
and
true.
how many they made?
I
3
never watched
movies?
Angry Birds.
2 movies?
I've never seen
Angry
any of
Birds
them.
actually is a pretty decent movie. I would have
It
to
is.
admit, like I
first
didn't
one,
want to
yes.
like it. Yeah, the first one, yeah,
The
the second
fir-
one
the-
sucked, but
It was
yeah.
cute. It was one of those things where you're like, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, I'm not going to recommend Angry Birds to somebody. But when my kids watched it, I was like, huh, I got some good humor out of that. They had a good cast, and it was like it had its moments. BioShock is definitely the one I want to see.
Yeah, BioShock. Now, which
I
one? Do you
love
want to
that
see
entire series.
BioShock or BioShock Columbia? Or like, because they're
I
two
don't know.
different.
They're very two different things, but they do bleed into each other.
They do.
And isn't it like BioShock? Is BioShock Infinite is the one that was
Yeah, BioShock Infinite was
the
when the
prequel.
Columbia.
It was like a
Yeah.
prequel.
It's nebulous because there's a lot of there's no
Yeah.
spoiler saying there's time travel in it.
No, yeah, it's not just time travel, but multiversal.
Is Assassin's Creed a movie or a TV show?
Yes,
They
was
made
garbage.
Assassin's
It was-
Creed and it was garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
It
was.
was
they
like
didn't
Michael
keep to the source material,
Fassbender.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
That's the thing is like I think the reason Last of Us works really well is the story of the game was really good. And
Yes.
then when they said they were going to make it, they literally went and got the guy from Naughty Dog who created it and said, "Co-write this with me.
Yeah.
Be here and direct it." I mean, like it was so close to source material that even the voice actors of the original game got to come
Yeah.
partake and
was a great
put
collaboration.
feedback into the characters. Like
Yeah.
they took the source material crazy serious. I think a lot of times when you're remaking a video game, they look at the source material and they'll read the synopsis and that's what they take.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get a character list and a synopsis, and that's the only thing they'll take from that story.
Yep. And then
I
they
would
created
watch-
a new story around that.
I want to see a series on Sea of Thieves. I think that would be great.
They made that. It's called Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah,
It's pretty true.
They even have Jack Sparrow in Sea of Thieves, Sean.
That's true. They did, but it's
Yeah.
not the same.
You know
They're
what?
similar enough.
Portal would be a
Portal?
fun.
Portal would be a good one. Or I mean, if you're gonna go there, Half-Life as well.
Half-Life would make a really good movie.
Just die already. I would just die already.
Oh,
Just Die
yeah.
Already.
That would be
That
fun.
would actually be a fun movie. Because
That
that'd
would
be
be
like
fun.
that would be the different, not Cocoon or any of those other old timey movies that they had with.
I
those
feel
people
like you
doing
get
it. Or
all
what is
of
it?
the like
80 with
old
Brady?
comedians.
That's what
all
they
the
have now.
old ones. The ones that are just still funny, but like super old and make just die already.
I
Didn't
want
they
to
do
see
that
the
with, like,
floppy
Happy Death Day?
lightsabers.
Happy Death Day? I
Yeah,
don't know.
they made 2 movies for that.
Yeah, Happy Death Day wasn't that a movie where they're just like you gotta wake up and die, and he just it's like a crossover between like Scream and Groundhog Day,
Mm.
where it's like essentially a slasher film that just takes place over and over and over and over again, and one person's aware of it, and then they bring in people who are also aware of
I
it.
thought they did a pretty good job with it.
Oh,
I didn't hate it.
It's one of those movies. It was funny. It was funny.
Mhm.
It was like it wasn't really scary, but it had everything like a slasher film you want because most slasher films aren't scary. But also like it had.
But was
the
it main
inventiveness
casted
of it.
with elderly people?
No, it was not.
Okay, then it's not. Just
So you
Die.
should elderly people with
Yeah.
floppy lightsabers.
Floppy
lightsabers.
Floppy lightsabers.
Best
Absolutely.
ever. Best ever.
Mhm.
How do y'all feel about
new
the new D&D movie coming out? Because I'm pretty
I don't
excited
know.
about it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, at least it's
I've
not
never
made by
been-
U-Bowl, so I mean, we have that.
Like I said,
I don't know.
any of those I'm not big on fantasy. Like, I never watched Game of Thrones. I didn't watch Lord of the Rings, Ring of Power. That I don't. I like. I'll go post-apocalyptic. I'll go future, but I don't go past much, unless it's sci-fi past.
See,
But see,
I'm
D&D is
pretty
not really a
excited about it.
past. D&D is kind of like
It's
just,
not.
It's maybe more a game to movie as well, even though the game is
Yeah.
TTRPG in this instance and not video
Right.
game.
They would do better with a TV show than a movie, though.
I think
think
so.
they would.
I think it would be too.
They're gonna cram.
Mm.
They're gonna be trying. They're gonna try to cram too much into the movie, and it's gonna be just a string of one-liners, a string of quips through the entire movie.
What honestly,
That's
the
what
only
it
reason
looks
you
like
can't
it's
do
gonna be.
Dungeons. You can't do a Dungeons and Dragons movie because essentially any fantasy movie could be a Dungeons and Dragons movie. Lord of the Rings could be a Dungeons and Dragons movie, depending on
Yeah.
who your DM is.
Fair.
Game of
Mhm.
Thrones could be a D&D movie, depends on your DM is. So I'm like, eh. You're just telling me a very good fantasy story. If it's good, if it's not good, you just told me a crappy fantasy story.
You know what I'm expecting
Tiny-
D&D to be? It's Fast and Furious and Fantasyland.
I could see that.
There you go.
Oh, now I'm not going to be able to unsee that, Nev. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. Thank you. Okay, cool.
What do
cool,
y'all
cool,
think
huh?
about the Fallout coming out on
I'm
Amazon?
so excited for that.
So
Do
excited.
you think they'll
I
do a
really,
good job
really
with it though?
I think they will. Because what I've read about it is that they're purposely put vaults in, like they numbered the vaults and they are using a vault number that doesn't have any pre-canon to it.
So
So
telling a new
that
story.
so they are telling a totally new
cool with that.
story
Yeah.
about this vault that that does exist in canon but doesn't have any. They purposely left these
No
certain
lore.
ones generic. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no lore
they
to
they
it.
can tell any story, so there's nothing to that they're having to sort of follow. And I think that I'm okay with that. I think that way they can just
I'm okay
take
with that
that
too.
and run.
I mean, they still have to follow something because even if they're establishing their own thing. I mean, those other places still exist and the histories of them still exist. So you
Yeah,
can't,
I
like,
think
just
they're
go-
gonna keep the universe, but you're not necessarily gonna be messing with any mainstay characters.
It's
Right,
not taking
right.
place in Vault 76.
Right.
Yeah.
Or 111 or,
It'll-
all of that.
Yeah,
Yes.
which
So,
allows them to tell their own story within
Mhm.
the universe.
and
You know what
Which
I'm
and
really
so
territory
that's
is
why I'm
won't-
that,
okay.
though? I mean, because what you have Vault 76 is in Pennsylvania, Virginia area, right?
West Virginia.
West
West
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
You have Fallout 1 is the West Coast because it's all in California.
California.
111 was in
Mhm.
Washington D.C.
And you have Las Vegas.
New Vegas.
What?
They haven't done
New
Texas
Vegas
yet.
New Vegas wasn't about a vault. New Vegas, you were already out and about in the wasteland. You weren't a vault.
Right, but you
dweller.
cover that territory regardless.
There is
Yeah.
a vault there though that got filled in.
Yeah.
It got taken over and converted to a hotel or something like that. So a casino. But yeah.
Mhm.
No, I would like to see that. Honestly, do you know what I want to see? I want to see more pre-war stuff. Like this is what I want from a vault movie,
Pre-nuke?
Fallout, is like build that pre-nuke, story
What was
and
that?
vault tech story.
That is
Yes.
basically
Like-
what was that with the what's his face? Where they get in the ships and they have to get in those arcs before the
Yes.
continent shift.
Tomorrow. No, it's not the day after tomorrow. It's the other one, isn't it?
Day after tomorrow.
2012. It's 2012.
Yo,
Is
yeah,
that 2012? Yeah, 2012.
2012.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, you want the 2012 story, except them vying for vaults.
No, honestly, no. I want the history of vault tech. Like, I want them to start looking at because vault tech essentially is the biggest antagonist of the Fallout series because they did some fucked up shit in all those vaults.
They're the umbrella. They're basically umbrella.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
and
I
I
think
would
that
love
if they
to
can
get like,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
oh
I'm
yeah,
finished.
like
Yeah.
them pushing and like subversing the nuclear fallout, like the nuclear war. and like them trying to set up this war to happen,
I see.
Yeah.
So, that
so
whole,
they could do their
intrigue.
vaults.
I think that if they can get season 1 to succeed, if they can get it solid, they can do like, ooh. If they can get it solid, then they can do things like they did in other shows where then they start telling that backstory. I think
Yeah.
that they have
Yeah.
to make this first season successful before they can start telling that backstory. Otherwise, you're ruining a lot of things that are already set up. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So
Yeah,
I
that's
think that
true.
this
I agree
first
with you.
season has to be successful in the story as itself. And then I think because usually second or third seasons, usually backstory or origin story time. And that's when you'll get a lot of that information.
Do you think they'll go? They'll stay true to like most of the games where it's a couple 100 years in the future after the nuclear war? Because, like I said, other than 76, I think 76 was the first vault to open.
25. No. Yeah. 25 years?
25 years. That's why you get like a drastic different environment. But a lot of the like other games are like 100 to like 150 years in the future of
Like
living
some
in
of
a
them have
vault.
generations that have gone through.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about when it's set because they just only started releasing promo pics and they haven't
Yeah.
even released
Mhm.
like so I don't
They released the
know.
cast. One of the cast members is gonna play a ghoul.
There was a
Where's-
there's a YouTube series from Fallout that did a Fallout thing. If I can remember the people who did that, it was really good too. Kept to.
I want
There's
to
a
know who
band
Pedro
named
Pascal
after
is
it.
playing.
That's the instant success. It's just Pedro Pascal. It's
That's all they
instant
gotta do.
success.
Just
We got to get
him.
him for season 2. After he's
okay,
done recording
if
Last
right
of Us, we got
now-
to get him for season 2.
If right now they said, by the way, the Vault Dweller, the person you play, like, you know, you play in the game is always like the Vault Dweller, was played by Pedro Pascal, I would be 17,000 times more excited about this.
hmm
Just let him play every major video game character, and I'm okay with it. I don't even care if he uses that voice he uses.
It's his voice.
The
No,
voice.
no, the voice, the
The
SNL voice that he
Mandalorian
did,
voice?
Oh, the
Mm-mm.
breathy.
the breathy. Hi guys. Like you gotta look it up. You gotta look up like just type in Pedro Pascal funny voice, and it will melt your brain and make you laugh really hard. Especially if you've watched The Last of Us or Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like when you realize how like funny he is outside of just like the roles that like really made him.
How old is he?
I want to say he's 40s.
40s. Yeah.
IMDb.
Yeah.
Don't you love nowadays that like people are becoming famous later in their lives? Like
He's been around for quite some time. Pedro Pascal has been around for some time.
Yeah. Especially in
But
Yeah.
Spanish cinema.
but how? I mean, how many? What roles did he do before Game of Thrones? How well
Well,
known
let's
was
look
he
it
before
up. I
Game
mean,
of Thrones?
shit.
right,
I know
like
he was in some Spanish movies that I've seen.
there's being around and being in
Yeah.
the industry for a long time. And
That's
then
true.
there's like knowing who Pedro Pascal is. Like there is a huge difference. And that's the same way with like Harrison Ford and like these actors that are getting famous later in life. Like famous.
All right, Pedro Pascal is.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. He was in a.
He was in Buffy the
Eddie
Vampire Slayer.
Was
in
he?
1999. Yep. He
Yep.
was in Touched by an
What?
Angel.
Oh
As
my
this,
God. My mother
which is
loved that
funny.
show.
His name was Pedro Balmaceda at that time in those two. He
Yeah.
wasn't as Pedro Pascal. So, let's see. NYPD.
Looks like he
Blue, Law
started
and Order.
working. He started working probably in 1999.
Yep.
So he
Late
was probably
90s.
doing a lot of extra work for a time.
Yeah, he was just like he was in
Charlie's
special.
Angels, Wonder
He was in
Woman.
Law and Order, SVU, Burn Notice.
Homeland. So this is all before Game of Thrones.
Well, I tell you what,
the
he's
sixth
been in
Yeah.
one.
almost like every Law and Order. He's been in every Law and Order as a character.
Yeah, they rotate out their people. I mean, that show's been around for like 50 years.
Please let me tell what kind of characters was he playing in Law and Order?
Well, in the
I
first one,
have
he's
to
Tito
know.
Cabasa. In Criminal Intent,
Special Agent Greer.
he's,
Oh, in Criminal
what-
Intent, he was
is that?
Kevin Kip Green
Yeah.
and Reggie Luckman. And then
And
in
then-
SVU, he was Special Agent Greer.
Oh, he gets to be an agent in one of them.
Yeah.
All right.
He works up from perp to agent. See.
Yeah.
They
he
can be
upgraded
reformed.
from body in the morgue to special agent.
He
Hoe
looks
on
like
the
he was
street.
just
I'm gonna
like,
start as
hoe on
hoe
the-
on the
yes.
street.
Prostitute on the slab.
Slut number 3.
Let's see, where's Game of Thrones at?
Yeah, so Game of Thrones
Game
sounds like
of
it's probably his
Thrones.
first.
He was in 7
major role.
episodes. Yeah, that was probably his
2014.
first, like,
Mhm.
That was his first more than like a couple of episodes because the only thing he was
Yeah.
in that was
He did
more
I
than
thought
Red
he did
Widow.
a great job in Game of Thrones.
Lights Out, he only did 4. No, I guess The Good Wife, he did 6 episodes in that.
okay. So
I like
that's
The Good
only
Wife.
one
The Good Wife
episode
was a good show.
less.
It's only one episode
Nathan
less than Game
Landry.
of Thrones.
Do you know
Game
I
of
want to
Thrones
see
is
more
just more
stuff?
widely known.
I want to see Brendan Fraser. I am so happy that man's back. You saw he won the Oscar for The Whale. I haven't seen The Whale. Like, I've heard
I've
nothing
not
but
seen
good
The Whale.
things.
I've seen like synopsises of it, but not the whole thing. But
I've
yeah.
seen like a little clip here and there, and I'm like, I would love to see that. Like, I'm not big on those movies, but Brendan Fraser is just he's a really good actor that I'm like,
Yeah.
he's gonna make you cry.
I like it in Doom. I like him in Doom Patrol. I thought he did a good job in Doom Patrol. I think he's one of the like more solid characters in Doom
Mhm.
Patrol. I mean,
I
there's
did
some
not
that are
watch Doom
super
Patrol.
weak,
Yeah.
but him and Jane are.
Jane is probably my favorite in that. She does
Well,
a
I mean, she's
fantastic job.
DID, so like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, would you watch a porn with Pedro Pascal in it?
Yes.
What part does he play? The pizza guy,
Found
or
it.
Yeah.
I could see Pedro Pascal as the pizza guy.
I want to see The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Like, that's what I kind of want to
Yes.
see next.
I want to see that too.
Oh, that was nice. I like that. That was funny.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I'm like, I do enjoy Nick Cage, and I do enjoy
Yeah.
Nick Cage is just
It's Nick Cage
kinda
playing
fuck-
himself.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Totally making fun of himself.
Nick Cage, yeah,
Mhm.
like
and he Nick Cages it up.
Why am I
Love
not
it.
in this movie?
Adam
Adam Sandler, or not Adam Sandler. Adam Sandberg does a great Nicolas Cage.
Okay, what's on your top I need to watch but haven't watched yet list? TV show or movie?
mean, you
I
just
heard
wanted to pull up my
Everything,
Netflix or
Everywhere, All at
something?
Once was.
That was a good movie.
I mean,
I liked it.
they swept at the Oscars.
I went to the
Is
theater
it-
to see that one.
Sometimes
but you know what? I'm not
something
big on
is
like
so hyped up
necessarily Oscar movies.
that I just don't want to watch it.
I'm not either.
like. There's been a bunch of Oscar movies that they swept the Oscars, and I'm like, I didn't enjoy anything about that movie. Like, it had all the right elements to it, but I'm like, but it didn't have the elements that I really loved. Like right now I'm in Picard. I'm in like the last season of Picard. I'm Mandalorian, which I'm gonna watch like right after this podcast is over. I'm gonna go watch Mandalorian.
Mhm.
Yep, me too.
Yeah, we're
I
all
don't
like,
think
yeah,
there's
yeah,
anything like-
yeah. We're
I
gonna plan
actually
on
watched
time
it
so we
right
can watch
before.
Mandalorian.
I watched it
Fucker.
right before this episode. I know. Well, because I figured
Yeah.
John would
Well,
have
I
seen
have-
it and
I
talked
have
about
si-
it, so
I
I had
have
to make
si-
sure I watched
kids.
it.
I've never spoiled Mandalorian.
We
No,
got to
but
make a pact that
like-
now from BSBN we're not allowed to watch it until after WDI. That's like we got to make that
Yeah.
like that our rule.
Fine.
That's our rule. We're not allowed to watch. We're
Mainly,
not allowed to watch it till afterwards.
I don't know. I don't think there's any real show that or like movie that I'm like really uber excited about. Like Fallout,
What
I'm
about
pretty
the-
okay with. Like I'm excited.
What about the new Magic Mike movie?
And you've seen one Magic Mike, you've seen them all. I mean, it's just good. I'm gonna watch it.
They're
It's good
solid. I
content.
mean, yeah.
Yeah, they're solid.
Cocaine Bear. I want to see
Cocaine
Cocaine
Bear?
Bear. Yes.
Mm.
Cocaine Bear,
Isn't
based on
that
a true
already?
story.
Did it not come out already?
I think it's already out. Yeah.
Is
Why
it out?
does that exist? Why
February
does that
24th.
exist?
Yeah, it did.
It's
come
based on a
out.
true story. That's
Based
what's
on a
even
true
worse.
story. Yeah.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
was directed by Elizabeth Banks. I mean,
Fair. I
yeah,
love
Do you guys
Elizabeth
see the
it has
TikTok? Do you
Kerry
guys ever
Russell,
see?
Ray Liotta.
You guys ever see the TikTok? The guy where he's like, he'll say something like smartass at work, and then he'll snap, and then he'll explain why he doesn't have to do the shit.
Mm.
It's like, oh, can
No.
you check in the back? No, I cannot check in the back, Linda. He's a really funny TikToker, and he was really. I mean, he's in that movie, and but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna watch Cocaine Bear. I don't watch a lot of stuff. Like it takes a lot for me to go, okay, I'm going to jump in on this and watch.
Scream 6. I want to see Scream 6. It's gotten really
I
good
I've
haven't
heard a
seen
reviews.
lot of
Scream
good
1.
reviews about Scream 6. You've not seen Scream
Yeah.
1? How can you not see
I have not
Scream
seen any
1,
of the
though?
Screams.
I was binging them just
I
the
was
other
never
day.
I was honestly, I was not a slasher fan. Like
Okay.
We have very wild.
But I didn't watch it for slasher. I watched it. Never mind.
Naomi Campbell.
Mhm.
Nev Campbell.
I don't need to
Naomi
watch. I
Campbell?
don't need to
Campbell,
watch
Neve
storyline.
Campbell.
I don't
Nev,
need.
Nev
Nev
Campbell,
Nev
sorry.
Campbell's hot.
I don't
Either
need to watch
way, both of them.
storyline to download
Either Campbell.
pictures.
Either Camels or Campbells. Oh, okay.
She just wants the
Both.
whole soup,
Um,
is what she said.
I mean, that's fine.
I want all the
Yeah.
soup.
Yum Campbell's.
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
the John Wick.
I
The new John Wick movie's coming out.
never
I wanna
watched
see that.
any of the John Wicks. I've never seen.
I haven't
John
seen
Wick.
any of the John Wick
I-
movies.
So
I-
I've seen the
have
first
not.
one, but I have not seen the rest of them.
They're
and
so
I-
good. I binged those a couple weeks ago.
Okay, you want to know what movie I didn't want to like but liked?
Hmm.
Top Gun Maverick. I didn't
That
want to
was
like it.
good. Why?
I
I
heard it
didn't
was
want to
solid.
like it.
It
It
was. solid.
was. It was. I didn't want to. I was like, how can how can you do a sequel to such a great movie? Just leave it alone. I thought it was going to be trash. I really
Well, that's
did.
the same thing said about Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I haven't seen that one. I want to. I just haven't seen it.
That one's good.
Ghostbusters
I saw it after
Afterlife was
John's
one
like,
of those
you need to
like,
see it. I saw it.
yeah. I went into that movie going, this is gonna be garbage, but I'm gonna watch it because it's
Mhm.
gonna make references. And then it was like such a solid film that had me crying at the end. And I'm like, I did not see it coming. Like I honestly anticipated that movie being really, which is probably why I thought it was so good. Because I thought it was like the
You
remake
thought it was
of
going to be hot
Ghostbusters with the
garbage,
girls.
and then it came out good, and you were like, oh, crap.
Which
Yeah.
you know what? Honestly, like the only complaint I have about like the remake with the girls doing Ghostbusters was not the girls doing Ghostbusters, is that they made it a comedy, not a sci-fi film.
I unpopular opinion, I liked that though.
But that's not what Ghostbusters is. Ghostbusters is never a comedy. It was a sci-fi film with comedy in it.
Was it though?
The only thing
I
that
kinda
ruined it
was
for
actually
me was
really
when
bad.
Chris
I don't know,
Hemsworth
Could you really make that
made,
argument
like,
with Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray as the primary cast? Both
Exactly.
comedians?
I could,
Yeah.
I could because it wasn't like filled with slapstick. It wasn't like, you know.
Just because it's not slapstick doesn't mean it's not comedy.
Uh-huh.
No, that's true.
You don't cast
But,
those
like,
two
okay.
guys as your main leads and not consider it a comedy. It was
I
scary, but it
guess,
was also
but it-
comedic.
It wasn't one of those things where
Or sci-fi.
it didn't rely on comedy. Like it just comedy was natural. They weren't like joke.
True. Okay,
Like,
yeah.
we're
So
not
it wasn't built
throwing
from one joke to
jokes
the
at
next.
it. Yeah, like the female one, it was just like, let's make a joke here. You got to have that timing of a comedy where it's just like a joke every like 2 minutes, or it's
Mhm.
not a comedy. And I didn't like that about the the Ghostbusters reboot. I mean, I love all those actresses; they're fantastic, and I've seen them in many things. Like all of them, are just like they're great. They're gold.
Mhm.
They're good in comedies. But you took
You don't like that they did it with
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and like Ghostbusters is a comedy, but it's not like formulaic comedy where it's a joke every 2 seconds. It's very dry, and there was like plot. There was like really serious plot where 4 guys who are just kind of smart asses about it. That makes sense.
All right. Yeah, but yes, but I think for me, I separated it from, like, I made it its own thing. Like, I
That's
didn't
fine.
compare
Yeah,
the two.
it can be its own thing. But I'm saying,
Right.
like, when you label it something Ghostbusters, I go there going, I
It's true.
anticipate Ghostbusters because you called it Ghostbusters.
Right.
I mean, they could have
It's
been
just
doing
like
a movie of the old cartoon series just with girls.
they
That was a
could.
comedy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was cute.
100% comedy. Very silly. It was just like the movie World War Z. That's a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Had nothing to do
I
with
mean,
the book.
it literally just it has the same title as the book.
It's
You
better.
don't go. I'm a huge fan of the book World War Z. Boy, that movie was fantastic. They just shared a name, and that's what Ghostbusters was to me. It
Same
just
with
shared a
Starship
name.
Troopers, though.
Oh
Yep.
God, yeah.
Starship
They
Troopers.
did
Oh, that's a
a
guilty pleasure of
terrible.
mine.
It is
I
mine too. They did a terrible job with the movie though. They removed
Oh
all of
no,
the
I
important
thought that.
themes.
I honestly thought the movie was great in its own sense,
Yeah,
Yes,
but I
as
wasn't
a
It had
familiar
nothing
with
to
the
sci-fi
do with
source
the
movie.
material.
book. It had
Yeah,
nothing to do
Yeah,
with the book.
nothing to do with the book.
exactly. Yep.
It
but
just
it
shared a
was
name
Starship
in the
so.
same way.
It's
It is
so
so good. You
good.
can
garbage.
just,
It's
yeah.
so good.
Would
It's
you
so
like to
bad.
I
know
It's
mean,
more?
Neil Patrick Harris
I know.
is
Would
in
you
it. Do you
like to
remember?
know more? What?
Would you
He's
like
afraid.
Casper Van Dien.
Casper Van Dien, Neil Patrick Harris,
Neil Patrick
Denise
Harris.
Richards?
Yep. Denise
Yes.
Richards. Yep.
The whole movie is just hot.
Clancy
Again, it's like
Brown.
Taco Bell.
It.
It's
It.
the Taco
Mhm.
Bell of. It's the Taco Bell of
Of-
movies. So good.
Oh my god. It was. Yeah. It was. It was good.
Starship
Yeah, I
Troopers.
mean
Yeah.
and that's what I didn't like about the Ghostbusters movie. I'm not saying it was a bad movie. What I didn't
Yeah.
like about it, it wasn't Ghostbusters.
Right.
Just like World
I
War
mean,
Z
that makes
wasn't World
sense.
War Z. It was a good zombie movie.
But see, I saw
Mm.
World War Z. I saw the movie before you recommended the audiobook. And so I listened to the audiobook and it's like, you're right, it is completely different. And I honestly, the book is better. I thought the book was
Mhm.
so much better.
The
But I
book is one of those
mean,
things that'll make you it'll honestly make you think and believe this is a possibility. Like
mhm.
how it all fell apart.
Yeah, the
Because
way they
like
do with
my
the
entire life
interviews.
I hated slow moving zombie movies. So I was just like, that's not a fucking threat. Like even then, like even like if it took place in the year of like, you know, when the Dawn of the Dead and all the movies, Night of
The
the Living Dead
70s.
came out, I was like, these are very slow moving creatures. This can be easily neutralized. World War Z was the first material that made me go, holy shit, maybe.
Mhm.
Like the whole
Let's
premise
I see
behind
ya.
it is like, I see it. I see all of this. I see all of this content going on, mainly because COVID happened and the same shit went down.
Yep.
I went, oh, good lord. World War Z makes a lot of sense right now because I watched it happen in person.
In
So,
person.
All right. So with that, so we're gonna get ready to close out. So tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, we right here on twitch.tv/Shadondera, we have our amazing CCTV crew, Con Carolina's TV. And tomorrow they are discussing arcade games. We're going old school and talking about arcades. And so all of that fun stuff that's happening
Dragon's
tomorrow.
Quest.
8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central. It is going to be BSBN Gaming with our amazing BSBN crew. Y'all are playing 7 days with the mod, right? So
mhm.
fun times. How are y'all doing with that? Are
And
y'all
Twitch
like
integrations.
and Twitch integrations? Nice. Fun times.
Are you
Hashtag
joining us
spawn
this
puppy.
Thursday, John?
Possibly. It depends how she feels. She has my daughter has strep throat, so she is crashing on my floor right now until she gets better. She seems a lot better, but you know.
Yeah. Poor baby. And then at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, right, on Nev's channel, Zarknor After Dark, and you are still continuing to play that game I can't pronounce.
What game
Okay.
is that?
Wulong.
Oolong?
Long
Oolong.
Dynasty.
Oolong,
Oolong.
like the tea. Okay, I'm gonna try. I would try. I
Oolong tea.
Not Oolong. Wulong.
Oolong.
Oolong.
What he
See,
said.
I got the game I can't pronounce, so that's fine. That's cool. That's why you're here to tell me.
Wow, you're the worst Asian ever. You can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
You know, there's
You're-
more Asians than just.
Shh, shh, shh. Nope, that's it.
Right.
There's just China.
Just
There's
one.
nothing
Just
else.
one Asia. Just one Asia.
Just
Just
one type of Asian.
There's one type.
And then Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, we have Naughty and Knowledgeable with Miko and Glitch. Do we know what they're discussing this week? Do we know?
Sex
No.
shit.
Sex shit. Sex shit.
Mhm.
And then 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, we have Dinks with Kinks live right here on twitch.tv/Don0. And that's with me, John, and Shep. And I don't remember what we're talking about.
We're
I
going to
have
be
no
talking
idea.
King on the Thing, but I also have another idea. And Kagomi, one of our fans, came to me with it and said, "Are you guys doing something for St. Patty's Day?" And it made me go, "What about
Oh.
holiday kinks? Like, what kinks go with holidays?"
Santa fetish.
Santa fetish.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, what
cool.
about all
cool.
the
So
drunk
we're
sex that happens on like Cinco de Mayo and St. Patty's Day
Mhm.
and New Year's Eve?
you right.
Um,
You right. So that will be at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, and that is Dinks with Kinks Live. And then at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, we have Saturday Shenanigans with our amazing Miko. She's still playing Skyrim. She's doing the Skyrim playthrough. And then at 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central, a Great Big Bears channel, and I'm assuming he's still playing Gods of War. I haven't heard any
far as I know.
different. And then on Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, we have on twitch.tv/nerdmomace, we have Waking Up with Nana and Pep Pep, where Sean and I discuss our religious trauma and growing up in the Southern Baptist Church and how we're just trying to deal and just, recover from that. And then at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, we have Fallout 76 Sundays, also on Nerd Mom Ace, where we fuck around the wasteland and find out, speaking of Fallout. So it's a lot of fun. And then at 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, BSBN Gaming. And then followed at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, Zarknor After Dark. So that sort of rounds out our week until we get to our Monday content. So yay! That's it.
By the way,
Awesome.
I will be starting the Last of Us full playthrough April 2nd. That's the first Sunday after the game releases that I'll be doing. And it'll be every other Sunday in between Nana and Pep Pep and 76 Sundays.
Okay.
Because I have a very blank timeline for at least that day. Every other Sunday I have 3 kiddos.
Got it.
Yep. So that'll be starting in April. And yeah, so that is it for us. Y'all have anything else y'all want to say? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay.
A sloth, when a sloth poops, it can poop up to 1/3 its body weight. It poops usually about once a week. It is the most constipated creature on the planet.
Well, I
Lies.
mean,
I'm
we're all
not-
here, so we
Google it.
also survived the Ides of March, right? So
Oh,
the
we did.
leading fatality of sloths is pooping because they go down to the jungle
Pooping.
floor, and that's usually when
To
they're picked
the
off by
jungle,
predators.
the mighty jungle.
pooping.
And with that, congratulations. You now
they don't
know
poop
that.
off
That
the
is
tree.
something you know. And we'll see
They should
you
just hang off
later.
the edge of the
We'll
tree
talk
and
to you
stop
later.
pooping.
Bye.
Bye. No, there was a whole TikTok.
3, 2, 1.